Alright, so just to start this video off, just bought Melty Blood type Lumina. So I'm gonna go over this guy's video, DaikenFGC, as he goes through all the characters as you can see. To see who I guess I'm gonna try to main since this game came out yesterday. Be my first time playing like Melty Blood or any of these series. So this should be interesting. But so far, it's gotten pretty good ratings, and a lot of people are talking a lot about it. And I think it even has rollbacks, so this is like a pretty big deal. So this might be the next competitor for Guilty Gear for sure, and maybe even Dragon Ball, which Dragon Ball is life. But all right, let's hop into this thing. Make sure I got everything going.
How's it going, everyone? It's DaikenFGC here, bringing you another Melty Blood type Lumina video, and today we're going to be talking about how to choose your main character within the game. I'm going to be going over every single character and what they bring to the table so you can understand their tools and better assess what character you want to play within the game. So let's go ahead and get started. So right off the bat, we're going to be talking about Arkwade. So Arkwade is going to be your standard rush down character, but also has some pretty decent space control as well and some unique ways to get in. So she has this really good JB. This button is very good inside the air. It covers a lot of space, is multi-hit, so it's pretty easy to confirm and stuff like that. She's going to have also one of the fastest run speeds you'll see. Like, she is extremely fast on the ground, as you can see. Once she starts going, she starts moving. She has this Rekka series as well. Now, after the first hit of the Rekka, it becomes less safe. You can take the last hit and make it an overhead by pressing the back button. Once again, these follow-ups are all unsafe after the first one. So after the first one, you can get punished if you decide to do it, but you can delay them pretty long. So you can put a nice delay between them to try to catch your opponent off guard. So that's something you can utilize. She has this elbow series as well. So with the elbow, if you hit with it,
like
especially on counter hit, you can get a confirm from it. And also, this version right here, the medium version, you can pick up for combos if you're near the wall. So something like this is possible.
Like Dragon Ball, but it's not as cheesy apparently.
So you can do stuff like that because it sort of like bounces them off the wall a bit. So near the corner, you can get confirms off of it. And of course, when you're in the corner and use this, you just straight up just get confirms as well. So very, very strong tool. And on top of this, if you use the medium version, it sort of puts them airborne like that. So they can jump, which you can definitely chase if you see it. But if they land on the ground, you are actually plus. So when they land, you're actually plus if you do this version. So she can create her own plus range from that. Talking about some other noticeable tools of this character, she has an unblockable. So if you charge her 5C, this is an unblockable attack. So they have to either jump away from this in time, hit you out of it, or shield it. So they can't block this at all. And then she has a overhead, which is her charge 5B, and of course you can use this to pick up for combos as well. So she's gonna have pretty standard tools. Like I said, she's gonna have DP in the Rekka series. She's gonna have pretty fast dash speed, so she can also combo off her throw. So running up and doing fast tick throws and then picking it up for combos is gonna be something that's unique for her. Something like that. I don't really know the Arkwade combos, but you get the idea. She can combo off her throw as well. So tackle all that stuff on top of her fast dash speed and the ability to like be fast and mobile, trying to fish for the hits, close the distance pretty well, use elbows to get in and stuff like that. To try to get the fish for counter hits, because if you do counter hit with this, you do get combos. You could use it in combos as well, like for stuff like this. So she get little juggles with it as well. Pretty easy combos for this character. Pretty safe. So she's pretty standard, pretty easy to pick up, and seems very strong with her tools. So Noelle is going to be a very fast and versatile character. So right off the bat, you're going to know she has a very fast dash speed. She has a pretty good jump button JB. This is going to allow you to actually hit people from behind. So she can actually do cross-up attacks with it, even without turning around. So very strong. One of the few normals that I know that can actually do that within the game. She has a very good back dash that goes very far, very quickly. As you can see, she covers a lot of distance to put herself at spacings like this because she has a projectile. So projectiles like this for her are going to be very good. These are going to allow her to, just throw out multiple. She can like stagger it. And she got a full screen super that she can confirm off of. But this full screen super is also good for stopping your opponents from throwing projectiles back at you, because it is a full screen super, so you can react to things that they're doing, and it allows you to get a confirm and stay right in their face. As you notice, when the super ends, she's just right in your face, so very good for that. She also has very unique mobility options. So she has this like wall cling, and she can like throw things off of it. She can throw the projectiles off of it, as you can see. She also has a DP just like Arkwade, a 2-2, so also very good for people that try to cross you up. They can't cross you up because you have this type of DP. She has this move right here. This move is going to be your safest pressure string right here. So you do this in pressure. This is going to be the thing you want to do. And if you counter hit with this, you can actually pick this up with a combo on counter hit if you're staggering it within her pressure. So on top of, you know, the fast speed, she has the projectiles, like I said. She also has sort of like a demon flip that has a follow-up with it. Now, it's not an overhead, but it is going to be a safe follow-up, so you can do this and be safe. She has a command grab from it as well. She also can throw the projectiles from it too. So you can throw projectiles from it. You can do it from either one of them because she has the one that clings to the wall. So you can cancel that early into fireballs like that. So if you want to do pressure, get away and then like cling to the wall, like stuff like that. So she has very unique ways to like distance herself pretty easily without the opponent having a good way to like get near her, because she can do stuff like that. So very unique options that she definitely has. Now Aki is pretty much going to be like the set play character of the game. So she is going to be able to knock you down and set up this pinwheel like this and then go for mix-ups behind that. So that's going to be a very strong point of this character. She can also do a variation of it within the air. If you save one of your air dashes, she could just do it from there. Just like this. And then you have to block that while she's coming at you with the air dash, because she's still going to have her air dash left. And then she can like go for mix-ups from there because she has she has multiple overheads she could do. She could go for empty jump low. She also has a command grab super that she also get combos from. So it just does like a little swirl, and then she actually picks it up for the combo. And you can start your pressure from there, or start your confirm from there, and then try to reloop the same situation so you can get another mix-up opportunity. Now, some more interesting things about the character, because she has this 214A series. This is going to give her an overhead that she can also utilize. Now, she's not going to get the plus frames that she used to get before, but it is going to be a safe overhead that you can actually do. And because you can also still special cancel into EX in this game, you can do pressure and then go straight into that and have two of them on your opponent. Pretty cool. You can do stuff like that, and then you can do this to basically get a free mix-up on your opponent as long as you have a bar and meter. And you can start to go for something from like that. So she has a lot of different opportunities to do things like that. She does have this like anti-air move too that you can utilize. It doesn't have involt though, so it's not actual DP unless you do the actual EX version. Then that will be her invincible wake up. Now Hitsu and Kahaku is a very interesting character. You can almost compare them to like a puppet character as far as with the way they work. So one is going to have the lead, which you can switch the lead by pressing down into D, and then you could be the other character. So yes, there are two complete
that's pretty sick
for each character that you should know, that you need to know to play this character. So it's a little bit more advanced than other characters because obviously you got to know both move sets for the different leads that you have in place. Now also they can command their sister, so they all have different attacks. So there's there's that one, and then there is this attack right here. And if we switch leads, you got a bunch of different attacks too. So you have this, you have the chair, and then you have this overhead that she can do. Yes, that one's actually an overhead. Now there's another unique one that it could do. So she has this move right here, this 4B. Now when you press this and you actually use it with the plant, it actually changes the plant into a big plant. You water the plant and it just starts coming at you, and you have to deal with it. It's a pretty funny situation, but it's one of the things they could do. So you pretty much what you want to do with this character is you want to be able to like get them in a situation where you can almost sandwich them and keep the pressure going with stuff like this. So once you knock them down and stuff, you can also just set up certain things like this because they have to deal with it. So certain things are stronger, especially with one of the other leads. This is going to be a very strong tool for knockdown. So Hisui lead is going to allow you to actually have a strong knockdown. Now you can also use these plants as well because it's part of her moveset. You can use these in conjunction with her own moveset. So you can do it on her own knockdown as well. And then you can start going for things too. So you can do stuff like this, do that, make her go for the overhead, and then you jump in and stuff. So there's a lot of different things you could do. And like I said, you can make the opponent go behind. One of the easiest ways to do it, Kohaku's like little move where she goes in the air. And then you can start actually, doing different commands and stuff to actually get them to do things. So it's very fun, it's very chaotic when it happens. But so if you want to play a character that can, like, you know, keep the pressure going and sort of confuse your opponent with the amount of options that you can actually utilize, then this may be definitely the character for you. All right, so Shiki Tono. So he's going to be a pretty standard character as far as how he play. He has the unique ability of double backdash, though. He has this ability. He has a run in this game as well. He also has a very short backdash. He doesn't really cover that much space, especially with dash momentum. You see, he stays right in your face. Very good for doing stuff like this. So if you want to go for like quick overhead from the backdash, you can do stuff like that. Pretty standard jump buttons, JA. JB could be also used as air to air, also good air to ground. And of course, his JC is definitely going to be a good air to ground. Now he has also an unblockable attack, which is charge 5C. So you can't do anything. You can't special cancel it. You can't moon drive cancel it or anything.
This man got a whole shank with him.
Heat cancel it. It's just going to be a blockable attack. So you just get a nice little chunk of damage when you hit with it, and that's going to be that. It can be shielded though. But besides that, it can't be blocked. So they either have to get out of the way or they have to shield it. He also going to have access to a DP. So just standard DP that he has. The B version is going to have invo. He can also do it in the air, so he could do it in combos like such. So you can do it in combos as well. It's not going to give him a hard knockdown, but you could definitely do it in combos if you want to. Then he's also going to have the pretty safe special moves, I must say. His 236 series is going to be pretty safe. The B version actually gives him a combo, so he could get a combo from this, which is nice. Then he has the slide attack, and it has a follow-up, and when you do the follow-up on a hit, you can actually jump cancel it for a combo as well, so also pretty good. He also has other special moves, but the cool thing about it is it's actually tied to his arc drive. So once he hits you with his arc drive, he gains access to moves that were like previous known to Nania. So he has this overhead teleport attack, which gains invul during a certain amount of during a certain part in his startup frames. Then he also has his dash through, so he could use the dash through in combos. So you get the idea on that. And then of course he has the famous slashes that he could do. So you could do that as well. And you could use that into other things as well.
I like that move.
Like another super. So now it's time to talk about Coma. So Coma is going to be the armor command grab character of the game. So he's going to be a little bit slower on the ground than some other characters. So that's just going to be one of the things with him.
It's my broly.
He has pretty
it's
standard jump
can already see it.
Jump A, jump B, both going to be like more air-to-air approach. His JC charged up is going to have armor on it. So this is the one you're definitely going to be using a lot against people, both in the air and trying to hit people on the ground and stuff like that, just because of the armor. Now, when it comes to his actual normals, some of his normals have armor attached to him as well. So his 2C charge is going to have armor, and then of course his 5C is going to turn into an armored command grab when you actually charge it as well. Talking about some of his special moves, he does have a Rekka. So he has this, the last hit he can make into an overhead, I believe. And then of course he has the armored command grab that he can utilize as well. So he uses it anytime, and then he can choose where he wants to throw you. So if you press the back button, he will throw you to the opposite side as like that. And if you are in the corner and you do that, then he can pick it up for a combo as such. So he could definitely do stuff like that. And then of course, if he wants to as well, he can even spend super meter to just do damage from it as well. So if he wants to do the damage, if he has you over here and he wants to get some extra damage from it, then he can keep you in the corner and get some extra damage from it and keep you in the corner like that, rather than throwing you to the other side where he can't get a combo because he's not near corner on the opposite side. On top of all of this, he also has a DP option. So he has a DP.
So everybody has a DP in this
game. Of
course,
he has two invincible supers. So he has the 214C, which is going to be invul.
Literally everybody has.
And then he's going to have the 22C, which is going to be a invincible super that gives him hyper armor. So basically, you can't hurt him when he's doing this. As you see, I'm just hitting him. As long as he has the armor up, he will not move. He will take damage, but he won't get staggered by it, and he could just start hitting you at the same time you're hitting him, and you will get counter hit because he has the hyper armor on. So very strong tool set for sure. So if you want to play a character that got a bunch of command grabs that can definitely beat people that are trying to use shields a lot, because shields is very strong in this game. So you want to beat shields in a very satisfying way, then this is definitely the character for you with a bunch of command grabs and armor to do so. So Noelle's going to be a great mid-range fighter with some easy meter confirms in the neutral situations. So she's going to have the ability to use these keys, as you can see, as stocks. The unique thing about these keys is, of course, they are stocked, and of course, you can dash cancel them. On top of this, you can actually do them in a series like that. So if you actually are doing it in a block string and you do 2 of them like that, you can actually make it plus. So for spinning 2 of them, you can make it plus and basically reset the situation for more pressure for you. She also has a couple unique tools when it comes to her special moves as well. So she has this like overhead right here. If she hits with this, pretty slow, but if you do get a hit with it, you will get a combo opportunities. She also has a restand. So this right here will restand the opponent. So there are combos you can do with this character that will knock the opponent down to the ground. And you could go for a restand situation like that. Now, what you would do off the restand depends totally up to you. You can go for a throw. So if I want to do this, go for a tick throw. If I want to just reset the pressure situation and start going with lows like that, you can cast them with that. Or you can start to try to be a little bit gimmicky. Once you know they're going to try to take a throw, you can start doing stuff like acting like you're going to run up throw and then go for an overhead and stuff like that. So you can really mix it up with what you're going to do with those options. And of course, the restand is a little bit scary because they don't know exactly what you're going to do with it. Now, talking about her normals a little bit more as far as the mid-range goes, she does have pretty good buttons as far as that goes. So her 2B is going to be a 2-hitting move. As you can see, the first hit actually is a hit, but you can actually just use the second hit as a poke. So very long range grounded poke, and you can confirm this into this super because the super actually can be dash canceled as well. So you can actually get a confirm off that. So any of these hits can be confirmed into her super as such. Even her 2C as well. So this is going to be a long range sweep for her. This move right here pulls in a little bit, so you can actually use this in conjunction with her 2-2A for the overhead, or you can use this in conjunction with other things such as like a rebeat, or you could like try to be cheeky and go for like a throw, something like that. Once again, you have the overhead as well, or you could do this. Now this move also has other follow-ups, so you can do the A version has this follow-up, and the B version has a bunch of follow-ups like this, with the final hit being an overhead that the opponent actually has to block. So she has a decent amount of overheads inside of her moves to keep the opponent on their guard, and she has a bunch of tools to keep herself plus as well with the keys and stuff. Keep in mind, this is a limited resource though, but they do come back every round, so you will have 10 starting at every round no matter what happens. Either you win a round or you lose a round, you will start off with 10 every round. So Vlav is going to be a mid-range monster and zoner of the game. So this character has unique ability of having 2 different movesets based on his win and loss. So if he loses a round, then he will go into ice mode, but he starts in fire mode. So we're going to talk about fire mode first and then talk about ice mode. So he has a pretty good zoning tools. And the unique thing about it is he can use them in concession. So he has an A version, which is like one that goes like forward, and he has one that goes up, which is the B version. Now he can use them in concessions, what I'm saying. So he can use the A and then go into the B, and he will be able to cover both the ground and in the air. You do the same thing in the other direction. So you can cover the air and then cover the ground. Now you'll notice that there's slightly 2 different angles because he's not getting hit by this one. But if I do the normal one, he gets hit by it. So you notice it'll cover a slightly different angle, but it will still cover a little bit more of that lower approach that you missed before. Same thing with the actual succession of if you do this and you do this one. It doesn't cover the exact same angle, covers a little bit more higher above him. Now, when you do both of them in the exact same time, you'll notice that they cover a slightly different angle every time. So as you see, this one doesn't actually go straight again. It goes a little bit more upwards for the second one. So it's a bunch of different angles that he can actually cover with these special moves. Also, if you do it in the air, he actually can jump cancel these. Now he can only jump cancel when you do one. If you do both, he has to hold the recovery. So doing one is going to be the best thing for you if you want to cover different angles. And speaking of the air, he has different angles he covers in the air as well. So this one goes more down, and then you could do one that goes a little bit more straight. And of course, they're going to cover different angles when you change them from the B and A and B version. So just keep that in mind. But once again, if you do both of them, you will have to hold the entire recovery rather than doing it doing one of them and then being able to jump cancel that to make yourself a little bit more safe. Now he's also going to have the 2-2 series, which is going to be this full screen attack, as you can see. So it's going to be a full screen attack. It takes a little while to get there. The thing about the ice mode is his attacks are a little bit faster, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Now the second hit of it is going to be a low, so you can delay the second hit a little bit and you can actually go into a low whenever you choose. And then of course, if he hits with it,
yeah, this character is going to be
you can
super
pick
cheap.
it up for a combo.
Super cheap.
So that's pretty cool that you could do that. And then
I
of
can
course
see
he
it right
has his
now.
Rekka series, which
Yeah,
is going to
he's
be his
gonna be
214A. So it has 3 follow-ups to it. So the first follow-up is just a couple of slashes. The second follow-up is going to be this down slash, and then he has the actual attack part for the last hit. It's going to be that. Now, if you hold this attack, it will actually turn into a command grab.
Oh, that was pretty sick.
And you can also pick it up for a combo. By the way, I messed up. It's not actually a hold, is going to be a back. So you just hold back for the last portion, and then you can get the actual command grab to come out for the last portion of it. So you can mix up between doing the final hit or actually going for the command grab. So on top of his actual zone, he just has pretty good normals. He has amazing air-to-air buttons with this JB. His JC is going to be a good air-to-ground button. His JA pretty standard, but this JB is also just very good in the air for sure. Pretty good ground button as well. Very, very long-reaching normal. So this 5B, 2B, nice range on that. 5C, amazing, very, very amazing spacing button. And of course, this 2C is going to be pretty huge as well. He has some pretty good buttons, and of course, he has this 6C. His 6C can be charged and become an overhead as well. So he has access to an overhead that he can get combos off of as well, on top of all his zoning. So let's talk about his ice mode next. So his ice mode is going to be pretty much similar to what we saw before. So you can cover different angles, and you could do 2 of them. So if I want to cover 2 like that, I could do 2, or I could do 1 and it goes in the air. I could do 2 that goes in the air. I could go 1 that covers the ground. Same thing, cover different angles when you do them in the air as well. So I could do that, then cover more of a ground approach, cover both of the air. You can cover many different angles, and they're extremely fast. Same with this. As you can see, this is way faster when it comes to like actually coming over there to you. So increased speed on his special attacks, which is nice. And he also, on top of this, has a full screen drive. So if we showcase this, so he can basically do full screen confirms and then run up for pressure because of the actual hard knockdown that you get during the situation. So very, very strong that he actually has that. On top of all the tools he has with the spacing and all that, he seems like a pretty strong character. Also, just to notice, his auto attack do have this like anti-air move with it as well. So I've seen people using this as anti-air. It seems pretty good too. It gets some pretty good confirms off of it. So now it's time to talk about Michael Roa. So while he doesn't have the best mix-up, he does make up for it with his excellent ground game and pressure structure. So he's going to have the ability to basically keep the ground occupied with lightning, such as the horizontal and diagonal lightning. Now he could interchange them like this, so you can like make sure he do one into the other. The one thing about them, unfortunately, now they aren't air unblockable, so you can block them in the air. However, his lightning dash through is still going to be air unblockable, so you cannot block this in the air. Just to showcase that, I have my opponent holding back. If they try to block it, you will get a hit, and if you hit with the B version, for sure, I know you get a combo off of it. So he gets combos when you hit with it because it pops them up in the air as such. So you get a combo off of it, which is good, but unfortunately the lightning isn't going to be like that. However, he has the ability to now create his own plus frames with the charge version. So if you have them in the corner, pressure in the corner, you can start utilizing this once you have your opponent scared of your pressure with this character. So that is something very good for him, as well as you can make this plus right here. So this attack right here is spaced out correctly. This attack can actually be plus for Roa. It has to be at a right distance. So once you start understanding the distance of where this thing has to be, you'll start to see that this thing can definitely be hard to deal with. So not only can he like anti-air you with this like lightning thing that's really fast, and of course if you get counter hits with it because you're doing something, he can stop you. And of course he has these as well. Now the unfortunate part is these are kind of hard to actually get a confirm off of. He has to spin meter or moon drive to get confirms. However, he does have 2 full screen supers, one being EX super and another being his arc drive. So we showcase that. Pretty good super for confirming these type of situations into some pretty good damage for him. So not only is he going to have pretty good pressure with his like normal and stuff like that, because he has some pretty good pressure. He has pretty high damaging combos to say the least, as far as his combos go, because of the loops and stuff he could do. So he has some pretty damaging combos from what I've seen. And he also has the 60 move, which is an overhead low. He He also has a DP, which we didn't talk about. He has a DP that you can utilize. So on top of everything that he has as far as the space control, so once the opponent actually gets in on you, or you didn't get your way in or something like that, you have a get off me tool with his DP as well. Okay, so Miyako is a fun one to talk about. So she's going to be your rush down character in the game. So she's going to have pretty stubby normals at close glance, as you can see. She's not going to really have a bunch of range when it comes to her normals. Same with her air normals. Not much range. You know, this is a good air to ground. This button right here is a good cross up. It actually crosses up, so you can do stuff like this, go for pressure, cross up with this button, and yeah, start things from there. So very cool button to mess around with. Now, talking about uniqueness of this character, she has a couple things that are unique to her. Right off the bat, she has a unique ability of dashing through you from her run. So if you press the dash button while you're already running at the opponent, you will get a dash through that's invul. So you can dash through the opponent as such. Pretty cool thing that they actually added for her. Also, she has a bunch of things like a charge super. Not a lot of people have something like this. This is a full screen charge super. So you can see it hits everything. When you charge it, they bounce up higher. And yeah, so you get more damage from it, and it also allows you to do more combos and stuff like that. Now, talking about her special moves and what makes this character so neat is she has a bunch of cool different things to mess around with. Right off the bat, we'll talk about her 236 series. So this has a bunch of follow-ups. So there is the standard follow-up, which is going to be the shoulder tackle. This actually wall bounces, so you can get a combo of this. Then there is going to be the dash through, so you can actually have this as a follow-up opportunity as well. So if they're blocking you, then you do this. This is something you want to do as well. Then there is her low follow-up. So the low follow-up is going to just be a low, just standard low from it as well. So you can add that in on top of everything that you're doing, from the cross-ups to the shoulder tackle. So just another option that you could utilize. Then, of course, this is the A version we're talking about. The B version is actually a cross-up. So not only are you going to be able to cross back up, you're still going to have all the options that you had before along with this. So put this along with the ability to
like
cross people
almost
up really fast,
like,
and you have some really dirty stuff that this
like
character can actually utilize, as you can see. So it can get pretty tricky pretty fast with the things that she could do. Now, talking about our 214, 214 is just going to be like a standard like straight punch. This can be charged up, and it has armor when you charge it up. So if an opponent is trying to disrespect this tool, you just put the armor on it and you're good to go, as long as the armor actually gets in there. Then she has her 22A series. These are going to be stumps. Now, she can actually charge these as well, or not charge them, but the B version is going to be something that's going to be plus for you. She can charge the C version of it, which is the one she can charge. But if you do this is actually going to be one that's going to have a little bit of plus frames tied to it. So you can try to do this to, like, you know, reset pressure a little bit, see if your opponent's going to react to you and stuff like that, and use it as such. This character also has a DP motion, so this is going to be a sort of command dash overhead attack. So it has a bunch of kicks that go with it, and if it hits, you can pick it up for a combo as well. And it's considered airborne, so because she's airborne from it, you can do her air super. So she has kick super, and she has this drop super as well, which is one of the air specials we're going to talk about in just a second. But talking more about what we were just talking about, the A version of it is actually a DP. So on top of all the mix-ups that we were talking about, she has
literally every character in this game has a DP, and that is crazy.
On top of having the unique ability to combo from her throw anywhere, unlike Arkwade, who has
like
to be
her
in the
little
corner,
creep up like
this
that. That's
character
pretty
can
cool.
combo from her throw no matter where she is on the screen. So as long as she gets a throw, she gets a combo, including the corner as well.
Ooh, okay.
So another unique
combos
thing
are
about this
sick,
character
though.
right there. So DP, throw, combos, and all the mix-ups that we were just talking about. Now she has her air special moves. This is going to be a people's elbow.
She's got an elbow
like to call
drop
it, right?
from the air.
So this is going to be an overhead attack, as you can see right here. It actually, I don't know if it actually does cross up, but it can hit cross up, as you can see. But I don't know if it actually counts as a cross up attack. You can use this in conjunction with like her overhead attack. So if you're going,
Oh,
for,
that's
like,
sick. She can do like a double
or
overhead.
something like this on your opponent, you can mix them up with something like that, and then go into like a super from it once it actually bounced. You can get some extra damage on top of that to get a hard knockdown or something like that. Then there is the actual kick super or special move. This is something you can use in especially some combos, like if you hit with this move that we were talking about, the DP motion. If you use the kick super, From that, on an actual hit, it'll wall bounce the opponent near the wall, and you can also pick that up for a combo as well. So this character has a lot of different mix-up opportunities that they can utilize, such as the overheads and the side switches, and of course the dash through, and all of the above that we were just talking about, along with abilities to create her own plus frames, throws, and a DP to boot it all on top. So now to talk about the made separately. So Hisui is going to be a character with decent normals.
Oh,
She's
so
gonna
you can
have
do
some
them separately
zoning
too
and
as
some
well.
set play
That's
to boot
pretty
as well.
interesting.
So let's go ahead and talk about what made this character so good. She has this J2B series right here. This is going to basically be a move she could do off her JB, and it allows her to do multiple hits like that. So she could do a bunch of different air dashes and stuff, which makes it scary for when she actually start doing her set play, which is going to be her 2-2A. This is going to allow her to set down the bento box. So after a knockdown with this character, she can set up a bento box, and the opponent has to deal with it right away, or she can put it behind to where you can start doing pressure, and then they have to deal with it at a later time
that's
once
such a
you
problem.
push them into it. So she has that going on for her. She also has some
Freaking
unique things like an
bento box.
unblockable attack, which is going to be from her 4B, which could also be a little bit scary because they don't know if you're going to do this since it's from a normal, or are you going to cancel into another normal at a delayed timing. So they have to worry about that type of thing as well. So talking a little bit how her zoning works, in her 214 series,
Ooh,
she
get
has
tired,
the
man.
214A, which is going to give out a random projectile or random household item that she's going to throw at the opponent. This is going to change in speed and how far it goes and how high it goes depending on what item you actually get. You just going to have to keep this in mind as far as how this actually works. Now when it comes to 214B, it throws out 2 random items, and depending on which 2 you get depends on what exactly happens on the screen. So sometimes you'll get one that goes high or one goes really fast, and sometimes you're just going to get 2 of them that just go really fast, or one that just goes very fast and one that goes really high and stuff like that. So it could be pretty annoying for the opponent to deal with all these types of options. On top of this, she has these clouds that can also just hover around while you're doing this as well. So maybe you want to just throw out the A, but you want to cover the air, so you wasn't sure, so you want to do this instead. So, you know, you just throwing out items, making sure you're covering your blind spots and stuff like that, making it hard for your opponent to get in. Now, this dust cloud can also be used as a block string. So you can use it in block strings to like create plus frames for yourself. And you can go for the shenanigans that we were talking about with the J2B earlier, with the multiple overheads and stuff like that. So it's really good when you add all this stuff together. To top things off for this character, she also has a dive kick. Now this dive kick can be plus if you hit really low to it. So if you hit like below the knees, you can make this also plus. And she has this ladle move right here. This move can also be made plus when it's actually done, if the opponent doesn't like stand up, especially if the opponent doesn't stand up on it. So if you're doing stuff like the series that we were talking about, something like this, it can be pretty hard for the opponent to deal with this. And you can pretty much make this a true block string if you don't deal with it appropriately. So if you don't stand up on it, you can really make this into something that's hard to deal with. Even if you stand up on it, it could be kind of hard to deal with sometimes too. Last couple of noticeable normals for her, she's going to have this giant JC in the air. There's going to be a very good air to ground attack for her. Very big attack when it comes to her air to ground normal.
Is that a whole table?
She also has this charge 5C. Now this isn't armored or anything, but it does go really far, really fast. So this can catch opponents off guard. And then she has her 6C series, which is going to be the frying pan.
That's a good
when
frying
it actually
pan.
hits in the corner, you can actually pick it up for a combo if they are high enough.
God.
Just like this. So just keep this in mind that she has these options as well, on top of all the set play, the zoning, and the decent normals that we were just talking about. So Kohaku is going to be a character that excels with long range buttons and of course Plant Oki. So let's go and talk about the strengths of this character. So right off the bat, you're going to notice that she has some pretty far reaching normals, starting with her 5B, pretty far. Then of course her 2B is going to be this 2-hitting normal that goes pretty far as well. 5C, the first hit is okay. 2C goes amazingly far, and of course her air buttons go really far as well. So she has a pretty long air dash, as you can see, very long, but you can cancel it with buttons. And when you do it really low to the ground, it can be very potent because of how far the buttons actually hit. So you can see the range that she's actually hitting with these buttons at, very far. And of course her JC is going to be a very good jump in. It can hit very high and still give her a combo, as you can see. So hitting with it pretty high in the air, still giving you combos. Very strong tool. Now talking about some of this character's special moves, she's going to have the 236 series, which is going to be her katana moves, as you can see. So these are going to be some slashes, and they have follow-ups. So with the follow-up, it knocks them in the air, and you can actually follow that up with a jump cancel to get a combo. One strong thing to do about that is using her JC in conjunction with this, because this allows you to basically do a re-jump combo so you can actually bring them back down to the ground. That way you can actually launch them again, or you can make sure you end the combo on the ground with this super, and that way you can set up Plant Oki to actually start doing some crazy mix-ups with this character. So once you start putting them in the blender with this, you can start going for, of course, overheads. You can go for lows. You can do all sorts of things. You could do the air jump back series and stuff, act like you're about to go for something and do something like this. So there's all types of things you can try to do to open up your opponent once you have them on block with that. Now, of course, that is going to be the B version of her 2-2 series. And then she's going to have the 2-2A, which is going to be like just the drill that goes up. So not really going to be used on Oki. But you also have access to the EX version of Oki, which is going to be the Johnny Plant, which is going to shoot out a couple of fireballs. So make sure your opponent actually doesn't jump over this, because if they do, the plant won't autocorrect. So just keep that in mind. Talking more about her 2-3-6 series. So if you do a charge attack for this, this is actually going to cause a feint. And if you do the charge version for the B, it's actually going to cause like a wall bounce. So you can actually pick up for a combo if you actually do the charge B version. Her 2-1-4 series is going to be the Molotov toss. Now this is going to be something that you have to manually input the Molotov itself once you actually start moving, both for the A and B version. So you just have to keep that in mind. Now the Molotov does have a hitbox for the way when it drops down and when it actually hits the floor. So it's going to be 2 hitboxes there, and if you do it correctly, you can actually pick this up for a combo opportunity as well. So it could be a pretty tricky situation for your opponent, especially since it gains invincibility at a certain point, so your opponent can no longer hit you when you're in that state. You can also do this in the air, but she automatically does the Molotov, so you got to make sure you know the distance so you can actually drop it on the opponent at the right time, so you can actually get the combo. Because if you don't,
Yeah, she's such a sick character.
I
think I probably would probably pick her up,
and it'll be a little bit harder for you to actually get the combo at that point. Now, because this is a basic overview, we haven't really talked about the moon skills of certain characters, but I do feel like she has one very specific one that I definitely want to talk about, and that is going to be the Cactus Punch Plant that she can actually utilize. So this is going to be another good Oki tool that you can actually utilize, that you can set up, and it's going to do a bunch of hits just like that. So you can set this up as well. This is going to just be another good Oki tool that you actually use at your disposal to try to open up your opponent with the other options that we said before. Like I said, the jump ins, or going for the low attacks like that, going for throws, act like you're going for something and backdash and stuff like that. So you got a couple of things at your disposal that you can actually do. Red Arkwade is going to be a character that excels in tricky movement and good space control. So right off the bat, you're going to notice that she has some similarities when it comes to regular Arkwade. So she's going to have really good JA, she's going to have that good JB, and then she also has a really good JC and that really crazy fast run speed that Arkwade also has. Also, just like Arkwade, she has the ability to combo in the corner. So you can imagine with that fast run speed, the tick throws are going to be very good for this character. Also, to help her movement even more, she has the ability to do teleports. So with the teleports, she can act like she's going to the other side with a feint, which will go a little bit farther. And then she has one that actually crosses up. And then she has the EX, which is actually a command grab. So these teleports can actually be charged, and it changes what actually happens to them. So if we do the charge for the A version, you see she stays in front and she is actually airborne. If we do the B version, she goes behind and is airborne. So you change the property of what is happening based on all this. So with the fact that she has these tricky movements like this, you can do this, and she's very fast. She has very good air buttons along with a fast dash speed, and you tackle that along with what makes this character very special, and that is having fireballs not only on the ground but also in the air. So her ability to space control with her normals, to basically move around the screen how she pleases and be able to throw out quick fireballs are very, very good. She can move very fast after the A version, is very, very plus as well, and her ability to confirm these situations are really good because of her full screen super version of it. And of course, her full screen arc drive. Both of these will give you a hard knockdown, and it'll let you set up for some crazy situations. So because of all these options, along with having an air fireball, which means she has an EX fireball, then she can start doing setups along with her teleports, such as this. You can also just go low with it as well. just like that. So you can make it pretty tricky, and because of the other teleport stand on the same side, you can make it a left, right, high, low. On top of all this, she's going to have a few armored moves. Mainly her 5B and her 5C are going to be the ones you're going to use, but she also has armor on her J2C, which don't see much use but could probably have some uses later on. Her 236 series is a pillar, which can also be jump canceled on the B version but pick up for a combo. Her 6C is a unique attack that goes through opponents such as this, but it actually doesn't cross up, but it can be used for certain confirms such as this. Her 6C is a unique attack that goes through the opponent but doesn't actually count as a cross up, but it can be used for certain confirms such as this. To top this all off, her invincible command grab super side switches, and you can pick it up for a combo. And lastly, Sabre, a great mid-range fighter with some good mobility options, the ability to create her own plush frames, a few mix-ups, and of course some utility supers, so she can extend her combo damage as well. Let's go and talk about what makes Sabre so great. So Sabre has a really good auto combo that allows her to convert anywhere off the screen thanks to her 623 series, which allows her to jump cancel this uppercut move that she does. So because of this, she can get great confirms just like that. Pretty much anywhere on the screen she hits. She also has this lunging move right here that can pick up very easily as well. You could change the combo that you do ever so slightly. So because of the auto combo, it allows her to get confirms that she wouldn't normally be able to get because of the range that it covers. Because there's times where you're going to be spacing out with like her 5B, but the 5C won't hit, nor will the 2C hit. There's ranges where the 2C won't hit as well. So you have to keep that in mind, that sometimes you'll just hit a dead zone, and this will protect you against that, still allow you to get a confirm and some good damage to boot as well along with it. Talking about the other options she has the ability to do a Rekka series. This Rekka series basically has 3 follow-ups you can do. You can change the directions to get different things. So the second hit can become a low, and the third hit can become an overhead. So not really a mix-up since it's telegraphed exactly when the low and overhead will come, but it's something that can catch your opponent off guard if they don't know what's happening. Now to talk about her 214 series, which is going to be her sway dash. So her 214A is where she sway backwards and she come in with an attack. This attack isn't an overhead, but it is plus. It knocks the opponent up in the air, so if they block it and they land on the ground, it is still your turn. The 214B version of it is going to be a low attack. If you hit your opponent with this, you're going to be able to pick this up for a combo and do some damage, and of course get a setup from there. Now both of her 214s have charges to them, and they are both going to be feints. So the 214A is going to sway backwards for a feint, and this one is going to sway forward for a feint when it comes to the 214B. Now the other good thing about these is they actually go under certain projectiles. So if the projectile is high enough, she'll be able to clash and go through it. This allows her to get a chance to come in, or potentially sometimes even get a punish, depending on the type of projectile used. So it's going to be very good to deal with certain things like this. Just closing the distance so she can start getting in to run her game plan. Also, because of how the sways work, you can actually use them in conjunction with her auto combo, depending on how your opponent tech, to actually go for cross-up situations. Just like that. On top of everything we talked about, she also have a dive kick. Just like the other dive kicks we talked about, if it hit below the knees, this can also be plus as well. Also, the B version, if it connects, also allows you to get a combo as well. Just like that. Now, as I mentioned, she also has a bunch of utility supers that help her extend her combo damage. For example, she has the 214C, which is going to give her a bounce. This will allow you to just juggle the opponent and pick up for a combo as well. She also has a unique attack that doesn't have any other special moves, which is her 22C, which is going to be a giant wind attack. You can follow this up pretty much with anything as long as you're able to get to the opponent in time. Now her 236C is actually going to have a launcher follow-up automatically tied to it. So it's automatically going to launch it to the air, and you can just pick it up for a combo just like that. The only ground super she has that you're not going to follow from is going to be her invincible super, which is going to be the DP one. On top of all this, she also has a full screen arc drive. This will allow her to punish certain tools that she have a hard time punishing before getting in. And to top it all off, she also has a second arc drive super that even counters people trying to throw her. And that pretty much sums up my character overview. I hope you guys found this useful, and hopefully it helped you find your character that you want to play inside Melty Blood type Lumina. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you hear more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daiken, and I'll see you next time.
Well, thank you,
Signing out.
Daiken. The video was pretty good. I think I have an idea what character I might want to, mess around with now. But that was a pretty good video. Definitely pretty thorough and went through everything that I needed to see before heading into this game. So I guess that's what I'll be doing on the next game.